This one looks like a really...
Mum, look. This spider's not done. You can see it's kind of curled up a bit.
Yeah.
He got all over that white quilt yesterday.
So, sat in what used to be our dining room, but every year we grow loads of tomatoes, and this year we decided to just get rid of the dining table because it gets so hot in here. We don't actually eat in here anyway, so now we've moved the dining table. It's purely a grow room. It's a total mess, as things often are. But we got things growing, and the beautiful thing about this room is that it was not touched by the spray drift. So we've still got tomatoes, some cucumbers, some cucamelon, and a few other little things that we've potted on, you know, basil, got some strawberries, some herbs and things like that. So it's really nice. I feel so grateful to have this space. Yeah, what a blessing really. It's really, really warm in here though, but it's also the quietest room in the house right now. The water sound you can possibly hear is the propagator. I will show you that in a minute. Is it called a propagator? I don't actually know. What we're using it for though, we are using it to take cuttings of plants. So when we go from this garden eventually, and this house, we are not leaving all of our plants behind. Yeah, a few of the things we've been doing recently I wanted to talk about is, because if you watched our other video, you possibly haven't, you're probably very new here, we lost our garden this summer in a spray drift, basically before any of the food even started coming through, due to the unknown nature of the chemicals that we use. Hello butterfly. Due to the unknown nature of the chemicals, it's not a risk we can take having a young family, so really sadly we cannot have butterfly behind. We cannot use any of our produce this year, and that is really hard to do because the garden is bountiful. A lot of things that were hit wilted and then came back, so I know they took a strong dose. It just wasn't a dose that was enough to kill it, but that doesn't mean that they're not in the plant now and have altered the chemical makeup of the plant. Go and watch the other video if you want a better analysis of that. Jack has sort of explained it. The point is, we can't use the garden. So I've kind of taken everything happening to the garden as a little bit of a reset, and I've just sort of been getting back into all the things that originally really inspired me. And obviously since becoming a mum and having a lot of children and having to sort of pay to live, and you found yourself in that system, I've sort of realised that I just want to go back a bit and sort of get inspired with what inspired me before. And so I've been doing that. I've been reading a couple of different books. I've been doing a permaculture to sort of design book for our future space, and I've been reading John Seymour's Fat of the Land, which I've never actually read before. I really loved his The Guide to Self-Sufficiency, and I remember that was like our Bible when we were students, when we were younger. Me and Jack met on an allotment, and we absolutely loved it. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of getting back into that, and it's just been really enjoyable. I've been definitely feeling more inspired. One thing that we have been doing is getting all of the biggest, most yummiest looking berries and just leaving them on the wall for the birds. And then we've been getting quite excited when we see the blackbirds and the pigeons and things on the wall eating them. This is the remnants of a strawberry that was well enjoyed. Another lovely thing that my kids have been doing a lot more of, they don't do this in the winter, but in the spring and summer they like to sort of leave offerings for the fae folk, or the fairies. This is something that we started years ago and they're really little, and even though they're getting a little bit older now, they're sort of continuing it, and it's really lovely. And sometimes the fairies remember to give things back when they have time, but often they just give out these little offerings, you know, to the spirits of the land, and however you feel about that, I think it's a really lovely, innocent thing. I guess the other positive, the other silver lining, is that we still get to enjoy flowers from the garden, because we were never really consuming them. They were just about the joy and the colour, so that's something that hasn't changed. Anyway, I'll show you the propagator because I said that I would earlier. Jack has been showing me how to use this new aero propagator, so that's been pretty cool. It basically works by, you get a cutting and you put it in this in those little discs, and then you pop it in the tube. It's then suspended, well, the stalk or the root is suspended, and then it is continuously blasted with water that is put in here, And the idea is that it is a really quick way of getting roots basically to grow. And when enough roots have grown, you can then pot it up like this. This is a mugwort that we did it with that I'll definitely want to take with us. This mugwort has been with us for so long. I literally found it in a pavement crack in Dundee, and it has been all over Scotland with us at this point. And there's a few more things. We've been taking some rosemary, some hops, and some honeysuckle and things like that. Things that we sort of want to take with us. We've still all of the indoor jobs, like pruning tomatoes to do. So I love the smell of pruning tomatoes. Jack doesn't really like it, but there's something, I don't know, there's something that just smells right about a tomato after it's been pruned. It just sits somewhere in my mind as like a really like, right, this is how things should smell, because it's, I don't know, it's like proof that you're growing your own. I don't know. So yeah, there's still the indoor jobs. We've got quite a few cucumbers coming through. Just excuse the wind there, my little studio as I'm voicing over. We've got a few tomatoes outside. Very excited about this. Look, £1.80 for a grapevine. And so we got 2 of them and we planted them up. One is a white variety, one is like a dark sort of red grape variety. And I'm hoping eventually we'll be able to put those in a greenhouse or a polytunnel when we're in our little patch of forever. Right now we are still renting. In the dining room here, trying to just figure things out. We are really trying not to waste things and trying to reuse all of the things we get from the shops. These have been really good. We've been doing a load of micro salads with these. Also, another silver lining, because I am obviously in the business of mining them, has been, we've sort of got out a bit more locally. We found a community garden that has been pretty much abandoned and is just beautiful wildflower, but there are lots of berries, and so my kids were more than happy to help themselves. Whilst having a little look around town as well, I also found this really cool little free sort of seed donation box in a bookshop, and it's all donation, or you can just take them if you need them, and I thought that was really lovely. So I might utilise that in the future. Doing a bit of seed swapping. So yeah, I think if anything, me and Jack had definitely got a little bit too insular in our little garden, and this has sort of just thrown us back out into the world. Even in terms of just going to community gardens and sort of speaking to people more, and when we're going to buy plants, we've sort of explained what's happened, and people have been really positive and have given us free plants, which has been lovely. The one thing we have been doing is sort of collecting berries and just trying to sow more, just as an experiment, just for sort of messy nature play things for the kids to do. Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to really reap out the positives of feeling like we didn't actually have any autonomy over the actions that happened. Feeling like we're living in a society that ultimately chooses to really degrade the landscape, and that can be really hard. I feel like eco-grief in itself is quite a heavy thing for our generation. And it's probably quite a hard thing to talk about. I feel like everything's so polarised right now. And so if you said, I'm really struggling about, the collapse of biodiversity, depending on what circles you're in, you're probably going to feel a little bit unsupported and maybe just a bit weird doing that. But anyway, if that is how you feel, this is definitely a safe space for you to talk about that. So yeah, we get it here. We know how it is. The land is us, and we are not separate from it. And I think many of us see that, many of us feel that, and many of us are just trying to live lives that reflects that. So lots of love, and we will catch you in the next video.